I stood in the scorpion of her, deep in the wet of her soft, moving flesh flushed against mine, eyes filled with emotions, tears intact. I'm sorry, but I can't love you. Still moving deep in the tender of the swan's purple fingers whispering, keeping the flesh from my back like candles, looking for excuses. She, the medicine woman, with juniper hands, and she promised me that when she died, she would will her womb to give birth to me in the next life, so she could love me unconditionally. That was 17,000 years ago, when we existed as echoes in a windstorm on an imploding planet, two universes over, embracing a third of her is. I danced with illusions, embroidered in mystery, murdered by many men. She too was alone, searching, unaware, walking into walls, dragging her broken heart around in a steel cage. This daughter of a blacksmith, laid atop my easel, like a parable, interwoven into the paper of my being, bleeding. I read her 2 chapters from a book of zebras. She stopped me and said she spent the past 400 years giving out eyes at the gate of the city, looking for you, which strangely explained the first 3 years of my life. Caught my breath, drowning, woke up in a coffin, cotton stuffed in my nostrils, insides empty, eyes removed. She was gone, and the silence tasted like embalming filled in my lips. A tender knocking, like a kiss at the door of my conscience. It was this old lady, wrinkled and waxy, white-haired, beaming, transfixed. I was Buddha. She handed me a liquid marble that emitted so much light. I broke out in tears, crying for no reason, crying because I understood, crying because I didn't understand. Cried so hard, it became 1920. She, now a jazz singer, on the red lights, dancing with strands of cigar smoke, winked. It became 1828. She, now my wet nurse, smiling, I screaming, brought forward, broke her heart at the prom, brought back, broke her heart before I met her. Just so she would keep her distance. Died twice as a child, avoiding her. She aborted me once, moved to China, changed her race, just so our paths wouldn't cross, just so our crosses wouldn't path, until one London evening, I got a card in the post, pictured the slim Asian woman with stolen eyes, eyes stolen from a lover, me, she, drawn circles, on the forehead of dust-quilted children, knitted from ether, blown around in circles, and in her left shoulder, burning bright blue, a black candle waxed with tears forever frozen black. She pulled me into the photo. The photo fell, falling into another slice of the universe, where she sat, burning, embers floating like bubbles above her head, pulling pins from her aura. Each pin, a lifetime wasted. Each lifetime in the form of a song. Each song, an ember blazed, singing, emitting so much light. I blinked, and in that instant, 17 faces of the same woman, eons ago, centuries ago, years ago, futures ago, and before I could say, "What is your name?" she vanished, and I'm in this diner, and she's serving black coffee and donuts to a trucker with a white beard and a red cap, tagged, made in China. She walks over to my table and places a plate with 2 eggs, bleeding, like eyes, looking up at me. I look up at her. Have I seen you someplace before? She says no, and walks out of the diner, like a jazz singer, like a wet nurse, like a daughter of a blacksmith, and leaves me with my heart chained to her pillow. I'm sorry, but I can't love you. Maybe